A lot of folks set a goal at the beginning of a year to read more. Maybe you did. I want to share with you some of what I read in the month of January and see if these books interest you, something for you to read in the days ahead. The first one I read is a short book, Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. This book has gotten a lot of notoriety on social media over the last year. It's not a bad book. It's a short book. It's a story that takes place in a small Irish town around Christmas. It just wasn't the book for me. You might enjoy it, so I'm not going to say not read it. It could be one that you thoroughly enjoy. It just didn't grip me like some stories do, and so I would give this maybe 3 out of 5 stars on my personal uh, reading assessment. Good book, well written, beautiful imagery, beautiful language, just not a book that I necessarily would go back to time and time again. Another book, one I actually started in late 2025 and finished in January, is Robert Penn Warren's All the King's Men. This is a classic novel, winner of the Pulitzer Prize, about politics. It's a fictionalized account of what happened in Louisiana during the days of Huey Long. And it's just a phenomenal work that helps you understand what happens when people allow power to change them, and it's so often the case. So as we go into an election year, this would be a great book if you've never read it to just understand a little bit more about the dynamics that make up politics that we see today. Moving on to some nonfiction works. This is one I was very excited to read, but honestly was a little disappointed in it. Scott Ellsworth's Midnight on the Potomac. It came highly recommended. It's not a bad book, so don't hear this as a negative review because it's certainly not a negative review. It just wasn't the book for me. One of the things that I am fascinated by is this period during the Civil War. And I guess because I've read other things, this left a little bit to be desired as far as I was concerned. Ellsworth tries in a fairly short span, just a few hundred pages, to cover the last year of the Civil War. And while there's a lot of information in here and it's written in a very fast paced way, the chapters are short, written almost like a thriller. I just think he's trying to do too much, and he doesn't have a cohesive um, plan for what he's doing. He could have focused in on the Lincoln assassination or on the political dynamics of the last year of the war, or the work that the Confederate Secret uh, Service did in trying to undermine what was going on in the Union. So there were lots of things he could have done, but he tried to do too much, and I think that leaves this book a little bit lacking. Another thing, and this is just a pet peeve of mine, is when an author, and he's not a trained historian, so I don't hold this against him, but it also goes to show the value of good editors when there are small factual errors in a work that are easily uh, found out and easily dealt with. One of the errors that Ellsworth does in this book is he refers to Atlanta as the capital of Georgia during the Civil War, and it didn't become the capital of Georgia until after the Civil War. Not a major issue, but when things like that are not caught by the editor, it really makes you wonder what else might not be 100% accurate, especially if they're the only ones that you've ever read on a topic. So, not a bad book. I would probably give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars in terms of what it's trying to do, just not the book for me. So, read it if you are interested in the last year of the Civil War. You will probably enjoy it. There are very enjoyable moments in this book, but don't let this be the only work you read on this very important subject. This next book, American Creation by Joseph J. Ellis, was recommended to me. I'd had it for a while and finally picked it up to read. It's a really good book. Uh, it's one of those books that each chapter really is a standalone chapter. He looks at various snippets, various events in the history of the founding of our country that makes us who we are, starting with the Revolutionary War and going all the way up to the Louisiana Purchase. Each chapter stands on its own and can be read individually or also as part of the larger narrative that he's constructing here. One caution I would give you about this book, though it is a really good book, I would definitely read this in conjunction with something else that gives you the fuller story of what's going on in between these particular events. The chapter on the writing of the Constitution is well worth this book in and of itself. So I would encourage you to read this book. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Um, I would definitely recommend you pick up American Creation if you're interested in the founding years of the United States. One audiobook I listened to that I would highly recommend, definitely give it 4.5 stars out of 5, is The Johnstown Flood by David McCullough. Um, I've never read anything by McCullough that I didn't enjoy, and so when I got a copy of the audiobook, it's narrated by Edward Herman, which is a doubly helpful thing. So I would just encourage you, if you're interested in audiobooks, places like that, narrative nonfiction, are great places to go to begin looking at audiobooks. Whether you consider that reading or not, it's a great way to work through books that maybe you might not have time to just sit and read. The last book I want to recommend to you is one that it was a reread for me. It's C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity. This is truly a classic. I cannot say enough about why this is important. If you have questions about what does it mean to be a Christian, why do we believe what we do, what is the basic worldview of a Christian, this book begins that conversation for you. It's not the only place to go, but it is a wonderful, wonderful, fascinating book. So let me encourage you, pick up books, read them, analyze them, ask questions. Let books change you and shape you and mold you, and you will be better for it. Hope your reading continues. Hope you're reading well. What are you reading right now? Drop a link in the comments or drop a comment about what you're reading. And if you like this material, like it, subscribe, comment, share, get the word out so that folks can know what we're doing here. But I encourage you to keep reading, and God bless in the days ahead.